Today I'm going to talk about secret hacks on how to fix and boost your credit score. What's going on, everybody? My name is Joshua Rico, owner and CEO of Approve Repair. We have the most video client testimonials in the credit repair industry, hands down. Real clients, real proof, real results. Listen, my journey began back in 2009 when I was in Iraq. One of my own blood family members took $6,000 out of my bank account and it plummeted my score to the 500s. Now, I was in Iraq on a pump and deployment, so I really couldn't handle it. But when I got back, I tried to apply for, apartments, cars. I got denied for the apartments, but I got a high interest rate on cars, 19%. And if that's you, you need to come see us ASAP. But listen, I felt vulnerable. I felt dumb, and I don't like feeling dumb, right? So I took it upon myself to learn. Just like you're watching this video, you're going to learn from someone with experience, right? Who has a multi-million-dollar company, helping thousands and thousands of people with proof on how to fix and build and leverage your credit as well. You see a lot of people post ads on how they can fix your credit. But listen, where's the proof? Over here at Approve Repair, we lead by proof. Results is the only thing that matters, along with customer service and along with communication.
Hey, if you're looking for credit repair, don't trust those signs that you see on the side of the road. Tap in with your boy Joshua Rico Sr. and Approve Repair, man. These dudes after the first round got my credit score up 90 points. I don't know anybody else that's capable of doing that just after round one. And we still got more rounds to go, but we looking for 800 soon, man. 800 soon. Shout out to the Approve Repair team. Hit them up, follow them, do what you got to do, but they official. They them boys.
So over the course of 10 years, I've invested into mentors. Now I have an 800 FICO score. I drive a McLaren, which I sold already, but I drove all the cars, right? I have Section 8 rental properties as investments by leveraging credit, okay? So credit changed my life, and it can change your life too. Whether it's just being a first-time home buyer, or if you want to get into an apartment, right? Or if you just want a car or a supercar, or you want to become wealthy by leveraging in real estate, entrepreneurship, etc. All right. So I've done that, and now you're about to learn from somebody with real receipts. I'm going to give you 7 tips on how to fix and boost your credit score. Let's dive right in. First things first, number 1 is knowing about the credit system. What do I mean by that? Well, we have to go back and realize back in 2014, the FTC conducted a study, right? That 1 in 5 Americans have at least one error across their consumer reports. What does this mean? So there's 300 million plus people in America. Let's say about 150 million of people in America have at least one negative item or inaccurate item on their credit reports, okay? Keep that in mind. It is a proven fact. That was back in 2014. Imagine now, 2025, about to go to 2026. Way more, right? So knowing this is very key. You can dispute with confidence, knowing that the government messed up. What else is new, right? So what I'm saying is this. You can even go on Google, go to FTC, conducted a study. 1 out of 5 consumer reports have an error, okay? Now that you know this, you need to understand what gets a deletion off of your credit reports, okay? So what am I talking about? A deletion, right? There's 5 things that gets deleted off your credit report. Number 1 is identity theft. And listen very carefully, very urgently, and very important. If you or anybody you know that's a true victim of identity theft, I'm talking about a true victim, not the FTC and everything like that, no. I'm talking about a true victim of identity theft. Contact me. I'm partnered with a lawyer, and we can get you, squared away on that aspect. But that's 1. Number 2 is inaccuracies. This is the biggest one, in my opinion, right? You have to be able to prove to the credit reporting agencies, aka the credit bureaus, that this is inaccurate. Remember what I said? They conducted a study. So you have leverage there. If you can prove that it's inaccurate, then you either have a deletion and or a case, okay? So that's 2. Number 3 is unverifiable. If they can't verify it, then it's a cause for deletion. All right. So number 4 is incomplete. Okay. And number 5 is unfair practices. Okay. So if you get those 5, you have to use one of these 5, or you can use them all too. But one of those 5 has to be in your disputing method and methodology and way of thinking. Okay. If we know that there's studies, there's lawsuits out there that people have won and proof that there's inaccuracies on your credit report, then you're most likely going to get the deletion. Okay. So knowledge is number one. What do I mean by knowledge? Well, how do you get these items deleted, Rico? This is how. What you're using mostly is called the FCRA 15 USC 1681, the Fair Credit Reporting Act. You can actually Google that and go on ftc.gov and get it for free, actually. Or you can purchase it on Amazon, get the updated one. And the FDCPA, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, which is 15 USC 1692. Okay, very important. We use these two classifications, if you will, right, in the credit repair industry. All right, these are the most common. There's more out there, but these are the most used. Okay, FCRA is mainly used for the bureaus, the credit reporting agencies, where FDCPA, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, is used for more of the actual creditor and furnisher bank or collection agency itself. All right, but you can use both. Quick tip. When you actually send a dispute letter, did you know that all they're doing, which is the credit bureaus, all they're doing is really taking the dispute letter and or dispute complaint, and they're just transferring it over to the creditor and furnisher themselves. Here's a quick tip that old school people in the credit repair industry know, and what you should know too. Listen, your battle is with the creditor. Your battle's with the furnisher. So what you should be doing is disputing first with the furnisher, the creditor. Cut the head off the snake, right? And then go back and forth. Document that and then take it to the credit reporting agencies. All right. All right. So the first tip was knowledge. You need to have the knowledge. Let's go for a second one too, right? The second tip. You need to know what credit repair is. Listen, real credit repair is actually paying your shit on time. Okay? Is paying everything on time, setting up auto pay. All right, setting up auto pay with all your accounts, installment accounts, credit cards, etc., and strategically pacing them when you get paid and when you can pay them, and setting up on auto pay. Pay 3 to 5 days before the statement date, not the due date. That's a big tip. Okay, but I see clients all the time. Hey, it happened again. I need a collection off. Or listen, pay your stuff, guys. Pay your stuff. It's just simple as that. Real credit repair is having multiple accounts over the course of 10 years plus, keeping a low utilization, right, under 6%, and then also paying your things on time. If you do that, you'll be okay for most of your life. I'm trying to tell you. If you do that, trust me, you'll be fine. It's the fundamentals. All right. So I would say tip number 2 is habits. Changing your habits. Budget your money. Allocate your money to where you're going to spend it, where it's most important. You know that you need a good credit score to get a house. You know that you need a good credit score to get a car and or business credit. So what are you doing to help that? Well, what you have to do on your part is basically pay your shit on time. All right. Listen, are you somebody that is tired of credit repair companies promise you results, deletions, or they're never in communication, or the customer service is trash? Listen, over here at Approve Repair, we lead. Our slogan is we have the most testimonials and we lead by real results. Our customer service is militant, meaning that I was in the military, and the communication. I'm a stickler and micromanager on communication. We embody all of that. So if you want to get your credit fixed, text repair to 951-400-4352 and let's get you started. Okay, so that's 2 tips I've gave you, but let's go into the real deal, the process now. All right. Number 1 is secondary reporting agencies, the secondary bureaus. Most people do not know about. Me, I'm old school. Look, there's a lot of people on the internet going to say different things. That's fine. Everybody has their own methods. I just know that the people you see on the internet don't have as much as results than me, hands down. All right. They do not have more client testimonials than me. So it's up to you. I'm not bashing nobody, but I'm just saying what works for me and my company and for my clients. And if you take action and understand and, subscribe to the channel, you'll go through my channel, you'll see how valuable the information I teach is very important. All right. So secondary bureaus. All right. These are your Your backdoor bureaus, for example, LexisNexis is one of them. Okay. You should be opting out and freezing these. Now, it's said that, yes, you can still see, even if you freeze, doesn't mean that they can't see the report. That is true. However, what people fail to realize is you can actually dispute off of these as well. Okay. And it's actually easier because everybody's sending their letters to the major three, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, but nobody's really sending dispute letters to LexisNexis, Innovis, SafeStream, Credit Logic, etc. There's a lot of microbill, like there's endless amounts of secondary reporting agencies. So you can actually, yes, you can opt out and freeze those, but you can actually send, call, dispute online, those secondary bureaus as well. Okay. It actually makes it the first step into disputing. Why? Because when you send a dispute, they send the verifications, they validate through LexisNexis, right? They're data risk solutions. So basically what these, even Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, Credit Karma, all of these secondary reporting agencies, all these credit bureaus, they're really just data miners. They're data brokers. They buy and sell data, and they're in the cahoots with other companies. Why do you think Credit Karma, you get a, even though it's not FICO scoring, is Vantage 3.0 scoring, but why do you think you get a outstanding approval for this? Because, they're selling your data. They can see your data. You see? That's why when you get a better credit score, you go on the credit card section of Experian or Credit Karma. You see the good cards like Amex, Chase, etc. Does that make sense? So it's always good to freeze your secondary bureaus, in my opinion, and or the reason why we do it, you can actually dispute from them. All right. So that's tip number one. Tip number two is your personal information is next. Okay, listen, guys, I have to break this to you. Okay. Personal information. No, let's back up. When you send a dispute letter, you're actually not sending a dispute letter to people. What do I mean by that? Well, when you send a dispute letter into these companies, first of all, there's about 13 people in the mailroom. If they see it as, this looks the same, we're going to deem it as frivolous or barely put it through. That's illegal. Remember, you're protected by laws and they're governed by laws, the FCRA and the FDCPA. So let them mess up if they want to. There's lots of lawsuits on them. Depending on what route you go, there's different ways of disputing and different outcomes, whether you want to sue, whether you just want deletion, etc. That's what you can do. But what do I mean by this? When you send a dispute letter, it's going in the mailroom, you're actually not getting investigated by a real person, which it should happen. You're fighting something that's called the e-Oscar system. Okay. Listen, guys, they've been on AI way before AI was out, right? Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. These are how the credit bureaus talk to the creditors and furnishers, etc., how they report. They have this special code, all right? The e-Oscar system. You can look it up, all right? I'll actually put the definition right here. You'll see it. But what I'm saying is you're disputing against a machine, a computer. So being that you know that you're disputing against a computer, an e-Oscar system, you have to be smarter than that. Well, what people don't know is that each name, address, employer, co-spouse, phone number, social security number, anything that's on your credit report has a special code, a backdoor ID number attached to it. People don't know this. This is a gem. But let's say you go on Experian.com, right? And I suggest you do this on a desktop. I'm going to give you real, raw, actionable steps right here. You ready? You go onto a desktop or a laptop. You log into your Experian account, right? You scroll all the way down. You go to Help Center. You go to File Dispute. And you go to Start a Dispute. And then you go to File Dispute. Once you file a dispute, you'll click the waiver, right? Etc. And then you'll see lines where it says personal information, accounts negative, inquiry, whatever, right? You're going to click personal information. You're going to scroll all the way down until you see personal information. I guarantee you that a lot of people are not cleaning up their personal information like they should be on each bureau. Okay, but this is for Experian. Like I said, this is a hack. This is a real gem right here. Nobody's sharing this really across the internet. But look, how do we get this off? A lot of people are sending letters. Listen, don't waste time. Call in, speak to a real representative in the US, I recommend, and tell them that you have unauthorized and or inaccurate, information on your credit report. Now, what is the goal? The goal is to have one name, one address, no co-spouse, no employers. Even if you work there, erase it. No phone numbers, erase it. Why? Because each and every one of those names, those addresses, those previous addresses that you lived at, those co-spouses, etc., has the backdoor number code ID attached to it. So let's say if you were living in a different address and you had a different name, or you were married, what have you, okay? Even if you have a duplicate name, or even you have a misspelled name, or if you just have a junior or senior, that's a mixed file. That's a case right there. You have more leverage in getting a deletion once you clean up your personal information. Why? Let's say the previous address you lived at now has a student loan or now has a collection that's attached to it. Okay, how do they verify you, right? The collection company calls you or they call your employer, which is illegal, right? You have to know your statute of limitations. We'll talk about that later in the next tip. But the goal is to clean up your personal information. So you have one name, one address, no co-spouse, no phone numbers, no social, right? Listed on your profile, just one name and one address. That's it, okay? That's it. Now, it would be stubborn to remove all of them. You can remove all of them, but clean up as most as possible. Why? Let's say if that previous address, you delete that previous address that was connected to that collection, right? Well, now you just knocked it off the track. So what happens in the e-Oscar system when you send that letter, and if it's not connected, it's not validated, it's going to get deleted automatically. That's how you get deletions, guys. Like fast deletions, because the e-Oscar system picks it up. What am I saying? You get more leverage in a deletion once you clean up your personal information. Let me tell you this. If you can grasp the severity of this first step, or second step, if you will, every negative item would be easier to delete and or dispute off your credit reports, hands down. All right, let's go to number 3. Hey guys, I hope that you're getting value. Hey, real quick, if you're somebody that doesn't have the time, you know what to do, or you just want someone to do it for you, look no further, right? Text repair to 951-400-4352 so you can book a call with my team who's trained and trusted by me. And then we'll access your credit reports to come up with a game plan to get you started. Number 3, knowing your statute of limitations. A statute of limitation is the legal time limit a debt collector or a creditor can collect on the debt. All right. So each state has that different time frames. Most states have 3 to 6 years. Some can go up to even 10. So just type in your state and then type in statute of limitations, and you can go on that. Why am I saying this? Because you have to understand. Let's say if, I don't know, you're in a state to where they can't collect after 3 years. Let's say on that credit report, you have a collection on that credit report and you're at 2 years and 6 months. Well, what will you do? Will you dispute it, or would you let it fall off or let it become past the statute of limitations, right? Me personally, I would do the statute of limitations because, it's 6 months. You should be building a habit anyways to get back on your feet, unless it's like a $52 credit collection. If it is, just pay it, guys. Don't dispute it. Just pay it, all right? Brings me back to my original, pay your stuff on time, right? But what I'm saying is this. I have 6 months left for the statute of limitation to basically expire. I'll rather wait. Why? Because you can reset the clock on some old debts. And you don't want to do that with charge-offs and stuff like that. Some people, you'll find some people that say, oh, my score went down. Oh, it's because the charge-off reset. But don't lose hope, because there was typically an inaccuracy on there that we can follow through and go forward from there, right? Let me quick full disclosure, guys. This should be a tip, but credit repair is not an overnight process. I don't know who told you it was fast. Yes, we do get clients fast over with sometimes. Some of them you're going to be on for 2 years. Anywhere from 3 to 6 months, 6 to 12 months, sometimes even 2 years. Everybody has their own journey. Okay, I'm just being honest with you, right? Unless you're willing to sue, right? That's a faster route, but you have to know what you're doing as well, and or be partnered with a lawyer. Okay, that's another topic. But back to the statute of limitations, right? If account is about to fall off, let's say a bankruptcy is about to fall off in 6 months, don't touch it. Let it fall off. That's credit repair in itself as well, too. Now, let's say if it's about to run out of the statute of limitations, but you have a clear black and white 90-day violation that you can win in court with and some compensation, that might be something. Okay. As well as not only the statute of limitations, ask the collection agency, since we're giving tips on how to boost the score, ask the collection agency if they have a license to collect in my state, in their state. That is a valid one too. So there are multiple ways, right? But you always want to check your statute of limitations, especially in your state. Okay. It is a big game changer. It's a no-brainer. It's called factual disputing. Now here's the thing. If they try to collect or send a letter after the statute of limitations, ooh, you got them. You got them. Okay? So monitoring is very important. Which brings me to my next point. Okay? This should be the first tip, right? What's the first step into fixing your credit score? It is obtaining your credit reports. Listen, guys, I always preach get credit monitoring. My clients can't even hop on my service without it. Okay. Oh, you don't want to you don't want to renew it every 30 days? What have you? Okay. You're disqualified. All right. Remember, I'm military. I keep it blunt. I keep it real. I tell it like it is. Tell the truth. Okay. But what I'm saying is this. Credit monitoring is a must mandatory have thing. Why? Because credit monitoring, you should be checking credit monitoring more than you check your bank account. Be like, Rico, you crazy. You sound stupid. Why you say that? Why? Because most people in the United States don't have 6 to 7 figures liquid in their bank accounts. But getting access to credit can give you that liquid in your bank account. Does that make sense? Leveraging wise. All right. Also, it protects you from identity theft. Remember, I was a victim of identity theft. Had I had credit monitoring service back then, I would have got the alerts, the dings, etc. Even while I was in Iraq. Okay. It also gives you up to $1 million of liability insurance. For example, someone takes your social, which a lot of people have got actually almost all of Americans have their social taken by the data breaches from Equifax, TransUnion, AT&T, and more. Okay, you can just go on Google yourself and say social security number data breach. You're probably a victim. All right. But if you have a credit monitoring service like this, you could be checking your credit score. You could be checking your budgets. You could be checking if you're a victim of identity theft or protecting yourself for liability insurance. So credit monitoring, only $30 a month. Listen, I'm all for it. I'm actually going to leave you a link in the description below. Just click get credit monitoring service here and you'll get that. All right. So anyways, but the most thing I want you to keep in mind is even if you have an 850 credit score, you should be monitoring and tracking your credit forever. All right. So credit monitoring is a must. But back to what I was saying, obtaining your credit reports is key. You must obtain your credit reports. How are you going to dispute or know what to dispute without them? Come on, make it make sense. All right. So let's keep going. Tip number 4, guys, knowing what a deletion off your credit report is. I'll explain. Listen, guys, a deletion off your credit report is beautiful, right? But a true deletion, what I'm referring to, is actually deleting the debt as well. What do you mean, Rico? Listen, just because you get an item deleted off your credit report does not mean that the debt is deleted as well. It'll be deleted off your credit report, which is good. Now you can leverage your credit report and consumer report to purchase that vehicle, house, investment, or what have you. Depends, though. Some banks have internal scoring systems to where they can prevent that. But the goal is to clean up your credit report. The bigger goal is to really clean up your debt, okay? Because I don't want to go off topic here, but there's some things as good debt versus bad debt. I'll do another video on that, but you want to clear up your bad debt, all right? Now, bad debt can be collections, can be IRS, can be all of this, all right? Now, just because a collection agency or a charge or a late, what have you, right, can get erased off of your credit report, it doesn't mean that they can't sue you for money or come to collect that. So you have to be able to prove in court and or these disputes, especially with the collections, that you have to leverage the law in a way, right? The Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, for example, in this case, to get this deletion off your credit reports. For example, a deleted collection can be resold to another company. All right. So you want to stay on top of these things. If you can, try and deal directly with the original creditor. But here's the thing. Once it goes to collection, the original creditor ain't trying to hear nothing. Okay. They'll. I've tried it before back in the past. Hey, can I pay this collection with you guys? Sorry, you have to deal with the collection agent because this has already been sold. We already closed you out. You're like, it's too late. You get what I'm saying? Like, no. Getting the negative item deleted off your credit report is great. If you can get the debt deleted as well, that's even better. Number 5, how to send your dispute letters. Listen, guys, there's a lot of people asking me, how do you send your dispute letters? Well, letters are kind of outdated. I'm old school and new school. What do I mean by that? The old school method is sending certified mail, right? You can most definitely send certified mail if you have a case. I don't recommend sending it, just starting off the gate, okay? But if you have a case, you want to be organized. And what I mean by organized, well, that's when you send a certified mail with return receipt, putting in your little folders, from Experience and your Equifax, keeping the correspondence why? The only reason why you would send a certified mail is for timestamps and or proof that you send it to the facility so you can show either the judge if you are trying to sue the bank or the collection agency, etc. All right. But we've been getting results without even sending letters, right? You can go on to Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which is one of the main steps that we use. That's an online complaint dispute. You can dispute directly from Experian, upload, Equifax, upload. Sometimes training that's finicky, but you can email CEOs for late payments. You can, there's one hack that nobody in the industry has taught, and if they are teaching it, they got it from me, hands down. All right. The tactic is called the social media hack, right? For example, if you at a company, Bank of America, on Twitter, you violated this using the FCRA code or FDCPA, you go with that. Actually, I have how to do that in my 750 blueprint. So if you want the 750 blueprint, tap in the description below and you can get access to that. It's basically over the shoulder, step by step on how to do what I'm talking to you right now. Just no fluff. It's basically the answers to the test, okay? Oh, right here. Oh, let me pause it, take action. Oh, I got the result. Let's keep going. That's what it is. It's over the shoulder with live clients. So you can go to 750blueprint.com for that. But anyways, let's keep going. So the mail. So you got to be an octopus when it comes to disputing. What do I mean by octopus? Well, there's calling in. There's online disputing. There's social media, which is nobody ever heard of. I still do send letters because it's the old school method if you need to. But you see, that's already 4 right there. You have to be creative, all right, and consistent. Like I said, credit repair is not an overnight process. You have to be consistent and persistent, okay? Now that's that, let's go on to the next tip. Tip number 6 is credit card utilization. This is the boosting hack, okay? With this tip alone, I've gotten clients into a mortgage without even fixing their credit reports with the negative items, all right? Now, credit card utilization is 30% of your score, okay? It's the second most important thing in the pie graph when it comes to credit repair, all right? You got to think of credit repair. Credit, it's a game, it's a pie graph. 35% is payment history, which you should be on auto pay with. 30% is credit card utilization, aka credit card use. Right there, you're already at 65, so it's a big chunk. Now, credit card utilization, aka 30% of your score is this. Now, in this section, everything is opposite. What do I mean? When you have a higher utilization percentage, the lower your score is going to be. Okay? But when you have a lower utilization percentage, the higher your score is going to be. Does that make sense, guys? That's why it's opposite. So a lot of people are saying, oh, you want to be 30%, 30% or lower. Yeah, that's mediocre. That's what the lenders say. I'm here to tell you it's 6% or lower. Ideal is 1 to 2%. It's even better than 0. I don't know why, but 1 to 6% is the best utilization range you want to stay at. You're probably saying, Rico, I can only use 6% of my credit cards. No, that's not what I'm saying. You can actually max out the credit cards. Just make sure you pay the statement balance a reporting date before it reports. So let's say I have $1,000 credit card or $50,000 credit card. I'll use the whole 50, flip it into ads or a product or whatever happened, keep the profit, pay it off, and now I'm back at 0. So I just use the credit card, aka leverage the credit card, 50,000 would be 100% utilization. But no, I paid it right before it reported to the credit bureaus. So now it's at 0 or 6% utilization. You see what I'm saying? That's how you use and leverage your credit. So that's why knowing the reporting dates is simple. And how you can do that is call the bank and say, hey, when is my statement reporting date? And pay 3 to 5 days before then. If you do this, I guarantee you'll be in a better position credit-wise. This can boost your score and skyrocket your score tremendously. And finally, tip number 7, authorized users, aka piggybacking. Listen, guys, this is an old school hack. Just be careful who you get it from, aka the trade lines, right? What do I mean by this? Well, the correct way to do it is if you know a family member, aka a grandma, and let's say that your grandma has a 35-year-old credit card. If you ask to be an authorized user on her account, her data transfers to yours. So now you have a 35-year-old aged credit card on your credit report. You don't have to have the card, right? I recommend you don't. You're just buying the age, right? Not even buying. You're borrowing the age, right, to get to where you want to be. Now, if you don't have someone like that, that's when, yes, you can buy trade lines. Be careful. A lot of people scam out there. We don't really touch it. I mean, we can, but we don't really touch it because it's just I like to practice getting your own trade lines and building them from there. I recommend you do that. You're going to need to anyways, because if you're looking at this and you have no credit, you're actually in a good place because you can get molded by the right person. But the thing is, you still have to build with that banker relationship, right? So authorized users is the concept of boosting your credit score by using somebody else's data. For example, your grandma's data. Oh, it's a 45K limit with a 35-year-old age. That's going to boost your score. Why? Because again, we have to go through the knowledge of the credit, right? Average age history is part of your score. It's 15% of your score. They'll look at you and say, oh, does this person have, most banks, sometimes they're looking past it, but this is just to boost your score. It's a boosting score hack, right? It's kind of getting outdated with some banks as far as the funding aspect goes. But as far as, getting a house or a mortgage and or a car works beautifully, all right? So look into authorized users and piggybacking. Just ask your significant other and or whoever has the better credit or longer history or higher limits, right? If you want to get a higher limit for yourself, get a higher limit authorized user on yours, 10K and above. If you want to get average age history, will boost your score too, get someone who has 10 years plus 20, 30 years. Exactly, right? So that's what authorized users, aka piggybacking, aka trade lines are, all right? And those are the 7 tips, guys. Listen, I hope you found, valuable information. I hope you learned something. Listen, I could talk credit for years, right? And nonstop. When I get into the flow, I just get sidetracked and I go down a deep rabbit hole when I need to stay on topic. But the thing is this, okay, guys? If you are looking to get your credit fixed, right? You say, hey, Rico, this sounds all good. I got what I need to actually do it myself. My DIY, I can do it myself. Thank you for this information. Hey, let me know in the comments section what this video did for you and tell me the outcome. I would love to hear you. Hell, I'll even interview you and on my YouTube channel. I'm down, right? Because at the end of the day, it's about helping people. Now, if you don't have the time and you just want professionals to do it, what I just told you how we do it, we can do it for you, all right? So click the link below to get started. Whatever the price is right now is the price. Limited time only though. The prices will be going up, but if you click the link to get started, we'll get you going, okay? If you want to learn how to do it yourself, a step-by-step over the shoulder, that is the 750 blueprint. You'll find it in the description below. And again, the credit monitoring service you'll see in the description below, all right? Please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification because I'm going to be coming out with fire gems. I interview clients all the time. Let's just get you on our next interview is what I want for you.